I've never felt such a sense of this is never going to end. But
Sure.
it
But it
was
did. It did end.
it did. But there was one point that I was kind of laughing on air, and I felt kind of guilty because I didn't want, and I apologized. I said it's the absurdity of this because that was, I think, our third or fourth tornado warning for the same communities. It was I was feeling empathetically for the people who were being impacted, but I was also dog tired. And I
Yeah.
was like, when will this end? And I was like, I am fascinated by weather, but I'm getting so fed up at this point that I don't want it wasn't I don't want to do this anymore. It was it was something just a tick below that
It was like a
of
level of ridiculousness had set in.
yeah.
Yeah.
And,
Well, I know you've got a newscast to do here in a couple
oh yeah.
minutes, Kit.
Mhm.
So the
Take your
producer in me
time.
is going to wrap you. For anybody who has missed you here in the Carolina Weather Group, we know you went to school here in the Carolinas and you're doing big, great things now. Where can they watch you on the aforementioned live stream?
So ABC 24 is my station here in Memphis. I'm Kit Thomas WX on most social platforms. You can download our app, ABC 24 app, on your Google Play and App Store. Of course, we also have started making the switch to digital. So on Fire Stick,
Yeah.
Roku, and Apple TV, we have
Apple.
the ABC 24 Plus app on that as well.
I know my
And of course,
techno
on
training was going to kick in and promote it with you. Well, thank you for all you did. Thank you for taking time to come back and talk with us here. Please come back
I could talk
again.
another
And
14 hours on this.
well, you certainly could, except for it would be a really interesting newscast when they joined you in progress.
Yeah. Thank you so much for having me, James.
All right, thanks, Kit. Talk to you again soon. Frank,
Yeah.
what a crazy couple of days there.
Yeah.
Again, multiple states: Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, Arkansas, Mississippi, Iowa.
Mhm.
Did I say Tennessee already? I must have. My
Yeah.
camera's zooming out to show all of my fingers counting. Thank you, AI powered camera. I'm holding a positive altitude. Yeah.
My screen share, by the way, is the April 2011
Yeah, let me
outbreak.
pop that back up
So
just
just
to
for
show people what we're
comparison
talking
to
about.
what has been called a super outbreak. Okay, this is the 23rd when things started, with only 13 tornado reports and 171 total. But
Only.
there's the 24th and the 25th. That's when things really started to get going. The 26th, the 27th. That was the
Wow,
big
look at
day.
that. That's New
Yeah,
York to the
292
Gulf.
tornado reports.
Yeah.
I'm not necessarily that many confirmed tornadoes. There certainly were potentially dozens from
Okay.
the same tornado, but and then there's a 28th, a few more along the East Coast. That's the end of it.
Yeah. So if anybody hasn't already seen one of our most popular episodes, and we've just been blessed to talk to him time and time again, is with James Spann from Birmingham, Alabama, who talks at length about the outbreak here in 2011 that Frank is showing. But, Frank, a classic kind of progression here, and we kind of had this same thing happen in the Carolinas with this storm this week. Once it finally got to us, once it had unstalled itself. I don't think that's the correct phrase, but that's what I'm
Right.
gonna go with. It did bring storms to us here in the Carolinas on Monday, and I know one of those storms we covered as a live stream here in the Carolina Weather Group because the National Weather Service in Morehead City had issued a destructive severe thunderstorm warning for portions of Greenville, North Carolina, in eastern North Carolina. And we promised that we would circle back to it here on our weekly show and kind of give you more analysis. But these are the warnings and the storm reports from this past Monday. Again, this is kind of the tail end of that system that Kit was just telling us about, brought them days and days and days of severe weather. Well, once it finally got here, we did get verified wind damage reports at least 64 miles an hour. We did get hail up here in Greenville, North Carolina at 1.75 inches. That is enough for a considerable tag. It's probably not something too widely known. It's still relatively new, but severe thunderstorm warnings can come in 3 tiers. The base warning at 60 miles an hour is what you get a dozen times in the summer. But, kind of to Kit's point, Frank, the Weather Service has these exclamation points they can put on things to go, no, really, we mean it. And they can do that with these considerable and destructive tags. And I know when I looked at the radar on Monday and I saw the warning over Greenville pulsating as it does on the app to be like, this one's really bad.
Right.
It made me do a double take.
Right. And that destructive tag that triggers your cell phone warnings.
Yes,
Now.
it sure
So
does. The
that is the
emergency alert.
highest level severe thunderstorm warning. So you'll get a beep on your phone if the Weather Service decides they have to put one of those out. Those are pretty rare
They are
in
very
this
rare.
part of the country.
Yeah, well, they want you to treat it like a tornado warning. They want you to seek shelter. And we actually have video of that thunderstorm moving over Greenville. You can see the shelf cloud here.
Nice shelf cloud, yeah.
From the East Carolina University WeatherStem camera, thanks to our friends at WeatherStem. And we'll loop this again, and you can see the storm moving over the campus. And this was, again, after it had already done miles and miles worth of damage, because by the time it got to East Carolina University, that's up by the 1.75, and it's moving along a line that had already caused damage all the way back to the I-95 corridor.